Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And today, we're here to do a Brewtiful Game episode. I guess that's pretty self-explanatory, though, right, guys?
Hey.
It's just
I
weird.
just got the name right this time.
It's just weird because Ron's here.
What?
Yep.
He is not in some
I see him.
other country.
Although next week I can't guarantee that.
Okay.
Maybe.
Back to old habits.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's an excellent chance that's going to happen. Today, we've got some Premier League. It's a little midweek match stuff going on. And we also have a lot of transfer deadline news.
Woo!
It has been a crazy week this week.
Probably the busiest January than
Ever?
I would say probably ever. At least
It's up there.
in a long time.
As far as meaningful large signings.
Well,
like
it's also the record for January, monetary record for all of the January's transfer windows. So Premier League teams spent a lot of money.
That they did.
It's
going to be interesting.
It's kind of getting a little ridiculous how much money they actually have. But before we move on to talking the soccer, Mr. Ferris has the beer pick.
I do.
So what you got?
All right.
Here's,
Surprise.
Is it themed?
Kind of not. I could probably tie it in. Surprise, it's local.
Cigar City.
Ish. No, close in that area though.
Tampa Brewing.
No, it's not. It's not a repeat.
It's not a brewery we've ever had. We've done Three Sisters.
We have not.
We've done Three Sisters?
What did you just call me?
Brewing? Three Sisters Brewing?
No. Three Daughters.
Three Daughters. Three Daughters.
Yeah.
You're right. Three Daughters Brewing.
Big Top Brewing?
Big Storm?
No, we had Big Top because we had the gunslinger on it. What was that
that's
one?
right. Yeah.
Ashley Gang, which I had a few weeks back at World of Beer, and man, I forgot how good that beer is.
I can't think of another one.
Pinellas County. I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but
Clearly it doesn't.
No idea.
all right. So this isn't going anywhere, obviously. So a lot of teams in January gambled a bit, right? Would that be?
That's what I call that.
All gambling?
I would say that's
So
fairly
there's
accurate.
a brewery in Clearwater, fairly new brewery, where to gamble sometimes you need a Pair O Dice.
Oh.
Okay.
Pair O Dice Brewing.
Yep.
That was a really good tie-in for not being themed today.
You're welcome.
Hey, that was a good off the cuff. Well played.
And it's
You can find Ferris performing at Second City in Chicago with his improv
Thank you.
skills.
And their hashtag is get a pair.
Even better.
Even better.
Awesome.
A little bit about Pair O Dice. So, Pair O Dice Brewing, Clearwater's first production microbrewery, was founded on October 31st, 2013. So new, I have not been there yet. I'm dying to go, though. Since then, husband and wife team Ken and Julia Rosenthal have won 5 Best Florida Beer Championship medals. The key to their success outside of meticulous brewing practices is taking advantage of Florida's native flora. Their newest year-round beer, Lucky Lucy Strawberry Blonde, is brewed with Plant City strawberries, and the Clearwater Honey Cream is brewed with Florida Orange Blossom honey. Their love of hops and their pilgrimages. That's the right way to say that?
Yeah, you're right.
We're going to go with it.
Pilgrimages.
It's an odd word seeing out spelled. To the West Coast has led them to craft award-winning IPAs as well. The name Paradise is a play on the word paradise, and it's how these native Floridians pay homage to their home state of Florida.
Is it sad that until you said that I didn't make the connection of Paradise and
Oh, seriously?
I
that
did-
was one of the first things that I
did
noticed.
when he said Paradise Brewing. And
Right.
I was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
I see. They did a takeover of World of Beer here locally.
Did they?
I want to say like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And they had like 6 or 8 taps of Paradise Brewing.
Were they at the brew festival we went to?
No.
We didn't quite get to everybody because it started getting full.
Yeah, I
We
don't
didn't get
think
so.
they were. I've had a couple of their stuff at World of Beer. I've had the cream. What was it? The cream ale, honey, Clearwater honey cream ale. I've had that one. I've had the Lucy Strawberry Blonde. Those are the 2 big ones. We are having neither of those on this pod.
Dun, dun, dun.
Instead, we are having.
That was great.
That was
There's
next
this
time
cartoon
on
voice.
Super Friends.
Hop Bet Red IPA.
Oh, awesome.
Heck yeah.
So, got a sixer here.
Thank you, sir. Ooh.
One for you, Mr. Ron.
Thank you.
Can I read the can?
Absolutely.
This is great. In the game of craps, a hop bet is a single roll wager that is made based on intuition. At Pair O Dice Brewing, the hop bet red was created based on this same internal instinct. It doesn't fit into a specific category. There are no official style guidelines for it. It's just a beer that we like.
The other side of the
That's
can.
cool.
The other side of the can says, this American Red IPA's big caramel malt backbone is balanced with grapefruit and floral hop notes that provide an impressive payoff for its drinker. It doesn't count as gambling if you don't have it down to a science. Awesome. And then hashtag get a pair.
Get a pair.
I like the can. I mean, it's the old, just the typical aluminum can,
yeah, just
but it's got the
simple.
sticker on it, and there's for their logo or their the wrap, and it's got an old school vibe that I like about it.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
slick.
I do not believe I've had this one before, which is why it kind of drew my eye there. Just a little bit more that they're located, situated in a 9,000 square foot warehouse in Regent Commerce Center on 118th Avenue North in Clearwater, Florida. They have 15 premier stainless barrel brew at their brew house with 4 30-barrel fermenters and 2 head wild goose canning line that allows us to produce up to 30 cans per minute. So, pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Nice.
In Pinellas County and in Clearwater, stop on over. Like I said, I haven't been there yet, but I'm going to try to get down there in the next few weeks.
It's a 6.5% too.
Yep.
And it is a style that isn't. I like that it doesn't fit in. There's no particular category.
No.
No official style guidelines. All right, let's try
Yep.
this.
www.paradisebrewing.com.
Ooh, smells good.
Ooh.
Yeah, you definitely get that grapefruit
Sure do. That's the first thing I
vibe
smelled.
off those hops. Does it say what kind of hops? Doesn't say what hops
Let me
on
look
this
at the
one.
beer real quick. Stand by. I actually didn't.
It wasn't written on the can. It just
I was
said,
trying. Yeah, I was trying to find that.
Ron,
beer.
this, to be honest, smells like when you're brewing at home. Like
Yeah.
it's got a
All right.
really.
year-round brews.
You know why
All
too
right,
though.
hop
The other
pepper.
reason is this is local and very fresh. That's the
Yes,
other reason.
yes.
That's why it
Sure.
smells like that fresh hop.
Hop Bet Red, 50 IBU, 6.5 ABV, which Ron said. The Hop Bet Red is a hoppy American red ale. It is brewed with lots of sweet caramel malts and the perfect amount of hops to create a complex yet balanced hoppy red ale. It doesn't count as gambling if we have it down to a science. Get a pair. That's about all they got on.
Here we
it's
go.
a darker it's a darker red.
That's
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have it in the.
Yeah, I have it
for
in a
the
glass.
for the first one.
It
smells
for,
fantastic.
for all of our friends who count this, it's got very good head retention.
Yes, excellent head retention. All right, gents, you got that.
Smells awesome.
Oh, this hop red looks good in this red Manchester United pint glass here.
Oh,
That's the only crappy thing in this place.
Shut it.
all right. Cheers, gents.
All right, T. Launch your boys.
There we go.
Cheers.
Ain't gambling if you got down to a science.
Mm.
Ooh, that's delightful.
That's interesting.
That is definitely not.
Not what I expected.
I mean, it's hoppy like an IPA, and it's malty like a red, but it's not. Whoa, that's super hoppy. Actually, just second wave hit. Real grapefruity, real citrusy, but you got the malts,
It's not
super
like-
sweet.
yeah, it's not like your normal IPA though.
Yeah,
I mean-
that grapefruit hits in the very beginning, and then the malt sweetness kind of takes it over.
That sort of bready sweetness vibe.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you don't really get the tart of the grapefruit.
Oh man, this is delicious.
It's delightful.
I love how many Florida beers we've hit, and we have not had bad.
Hit them
one.
all, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we have not.
There's still a
had
lot
bad
more
one.
out there too.
Oh yeah,
lot
we
more
could
out
just pick a brewery and take,
Yeah.
a year with just a few breweries, man.
Exactly.
All right. All right, on to the soccer. I gotta be honest. I don't know whether to dive into Matchweek 25 or dive into the transfer news. Is, to be honest, more exciting than the. You know what? Here, let me open this discussion first. There were some big complaints about this. I think Sam Allardyce had them saying that these midweek matches by the Premier League were a big middle finger to the FA Cup, because the FA Cup was just on the weekend. So then you schedule these Premier League matches in the midweek with the more Premier League matches on the weekend, thus ensuring a lot of top clubs yank their best players out of the FA Cup.
Right.
And he was not too happy about that.
Yeah, I think
it did feel unnecessary. His point was just it seemed unnecessary.
it's kind of odd to say or think, but coming out of the holiday season, there's so many games.
Why do you need to do this?
Why do you? Yeah, but you have to keep in mind the FA Cup also takes away weekends where UEFA Champions League, the Chupacabra Cup, whatever the hell that one's called. Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Chimichanga. That's what it is.
The Chimichanga Cup. Oh,
Right.
that's the cup that needs to happen in the U.S.
The cup that keeps on giving
with
all
with
year.
a Deadpool head is the trophy. With gold Deadpool, the Chimichanga trophy.
So I all those competitions take place midweek, Tuesday, Wednesdays. FA Cup is the one that takes place on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Mondays now.
Yep.
But I think I don't know why the FA Cup is looked at second class now. I know there's so much money and cash in the Premier League where these teams want to stay up and they want to make sure they ensure they stay up. They want to make sure they make the top 6, they make the top 4. They get that TV cash. But
we actually have decent coverage in the States now. We get more FA Cup than we'd ever before.
But there's that magic on the FA Cup, and we're not from England, but you hear people that are from England that have followed the game for a long time. There used to be this magic with the FA Cup. There used to be this, everybody looked forward to the third round and the fourth rounds, and it used to be.
It's also because you could have bottom tier teams playing top tier teams,
right.
And all crazy kinds of upsets.
Nowhere United versus Manchester City,
right. Like Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Like
hey, they're not no one. They're all right. Let's not talk about Nottingham.
No, I just mean that they're a lower tier team.
Let's just not talk about Nottingham Forest. We don't need to talk about Nottingham Forest.
Why is that?
Do you know why?
No.
Am I not right? Isn't that exactly who took out Arsenal from the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gone.
I was leading you.
And Eric Lehigh, I think, plays for them and had a good game against Arsenal.
Nottingham. Why not a axe? Why a spoon?
Because it'll hurt while you twit.
I say I was waiting for somebody to toss one of those in.
There's Robin Hood not Mennonites, but Prince of Thieves.
My Robin Hood has an English accent.
Now I just want to watch both of those. Everything I do, do it for you. You're gonna give Ryan Adams and a Kevin Costner with no discernible English accent at all.
It was like,
and Christian Slater with like, "Hello, governor, I'm your brother."
Let's be honest. That
was better.
That was Dances with Trees. That's what that movie was about.
Oh man. Okay, can we do a whole pod? I can do a whole pod on the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. Easily. We could just talk about every 5 minutes of that film. And really, in this episode, we cover, easily. And the best performance of a guy getting stabbed as Alan Rickman lets just the right amount of spit dribble out of his face, where this movie that's ridiculously, oh God, they actually look at that hurt.
The rest of the movie is terrible.
Alan Rickman
shot with arrows.
There you go. You have Kevin Costner. We've gone way off, but you have Kevin Costner trying to act whatever he's doing English, and then Alan Rickman being amazing.
Right.
It's such a funny, good movie because it's terrible at spots.
Genius.
Was a rich man from Nottingham who wanted to cross the river. God, it's so bad. It's so bad. Yep. Nottingham Forest, the pod. We're gonna do a retrospective on Prince of Thieves. We're gonna take the summer off for that.
I think we should travel to Nottingham Forest.
How did we get here?
I think we should travel to Nottingham Forest and hold interviews with people about which Robin Hood movie they like the best. Oh. That would be very educational.
It would definitely be. What's that one that just came out that was awful? With Braveheart, not Braveheart, with Gladiator, Russell Crowe. That was terrible.
Oh, right.
There's been some bad ones.
I was thinking the Errol Flynn.
Okay, I know how to get us back on track.
Olivia de Havilland one.
Who is Robin Hood from the Premier League right now? We're going to cast this sucker. Who's Robin Hood? Who is Robin Hood? Just pick. Who's the person that should be Robin Hood?
Player wise?
Yeah. Who's our predator? I mean, because I feel like the cousin to, if we're gonna go with like the Prince of Thieves version, the cousin should be Zlatan. He's like the right hand man guy. He can't. Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. Which one are we going with?
Well, Prince of Thieves. Stumped.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good
Look.
one.
I'm telling you, Christian Slater's Will Scarlet is absolutely Jamie Vardy. Was a rich man from Nottingham. Beers in the coach on the plane.
I can see that.
Let's go rob from the rich, give to the poor, Robin. Yeah,
That's brilliant.
it's done.
I don't. Who the hell would be Robin though? I'm trying to think of. one.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Peter Crouch.
Oh man,
a little too tall.
A
The
guy,
tallest
a
Robin
guy a
Hood
little
ever.
too old to be playing Robin
Yeah.
Hood. And, like,
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Or do we like grab
Mark Noble.
Do we grab Landon Donovan out of retirement now? Not out of retirement because he's got to try and do a
not.
British accent the same way that Kevin Costner did.
Jeff Cameron.
James Milner.
God.
Can the witch be played by Steve Bruce?
Please and thank you.
And then who's the Jolly Prince?
The Jolly Prince.
Jolly Prince John.
Oh, Jolly Prince John. Oh, he's not really in Prince of Thieves. They don't mess with him.
Yeah,
They do the
that's
Sheriff
true.
of Nottingham, who, by the way, is definitely Jose Mourinho. That's who that is.
Sure.
Yeah, because it's dull you twit. It'll hurt more.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I could see him delivering that line.
so then who's the Lionheart King, the good guy that comes back? Because in that movie I think they use Sean Connery.
Lord, I don't know.
Oh, right.
So it's got to be some old school guy that comes back in that saves the day. This look, the detour we've taken has made me so
way
happy.
off course. Whatever.
The X-Man U coach.
Huh? Louis Van Gaal?
No. Alex
Oh,
Ferguson.
Alex Ferguson.
Alex
Yep,
Ferguson.
That's absolutely who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that doesn't have to all be yucks. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Hello, Robin. I'm your cousin, Will Scarlet. Let's do Will Vardy Scarlet.
Oh, yeah.
Beers on the coach on the horse buggy. Let's go.
On the horse buggy.
Who's Chunky? Who was
Friar Tuck.
Friar Tuck?
Sam Allardyce.
Yeah. Oh, hell yes.
man.
No. Ooh.
What?
Is that your Steve? No, Sam Allardyce.
Sam Allardyce.
Or what's the guy's name who ate the pies from the club?
Oh,
in the FA Cup?
that dude. Yeah. Yes, done. Done. Pies McGee. Yeah, I don't know what his name is.
That's a tough. Oh man, I'd watch this. I'd watch this in our.
We cast a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, we do. That one though.
Yeah, we
I would
do.
never. I did not imagine we'd get to Robin Hood anytime. That just made me super happy.
So the question is,
I do it for you.
who plays Mrs. Miggins?
In the pie shop,
Right.
it has to be the old Chelsea trainer.
Oh, Ava Canara. No, she's made Marion.
Yeah, clearly she's
Yeah.
Mrs.
Oh,
Miggins.
Robin Hood.
this is true. Oh god. Okay, so
Oh, my
Mrs.
God.
Miggins.
What?
What was the old Hull City like owner? Let's be having you. Let's be having you. That was on the pitch or whatever. Perfect.
Yes.
That's like right
Yes.
out of Type A casting. Like that's perfect.
Amazing.
Oh,
She was brilliant. I think it was Hull City, right?
you know what's
I think
funny?
you're right.
It
Yeah.
is clear none of us, Man U, Arsenal, and Chelsea fans want to talk about the matches this week.
No, we're just gonna drink beer and talk all night.
Mostly because we all lost.
It's like exactly. Ugh. Oh man.
So do we speed through the match week and then talk about transfer?
Well, no, we have to do. I mean, just because we all lost doesn't mean we just speed through it.
No,
no,
I just
like-
mean that there's so much transfer news we're going to talk. And my thought is that if we try and break it down per game, we'll be here forever.
Yeah, I'm with him because here's the news flash of this week's midway.
And there were some boring
Guess
ones
what?
in here. Yeah.
Man City's still winning. Like the league, we're done. Like that fact hasn't changed. Yeah. Let's just burn through these, and then talk about this all the transfers.
We're not going to burn through the first one.
It's well, we're not going to burn through one.
A couple of them.
A couple
But
of them.
we'll just go at a quicker pace.
Yeah. So Swansea City at home to Arsenal. Swansea having a great run. and for a day pulled themselves out of the bottom of the league by beating Arsenal 3-1.
Clucas.
Wait.
Swansea.
F you in the A. Who would have thought?
Of Swansea coming out of the bottom?
Dude, if anybody is going to pull a Liverpool, it's Arsenal. That's for you, Tony. Sounds so good. Since you thought that I was like trashing on Liverpool in the last match. And I was like, no, man, our team's both. But yeah, Arsenal pulled Liverpool. Just going to leave it with that. I'm not surprised.
I'm not talking about necessarily Arsenal. I'm just talking about Swansea.
Yeah.
Carvajal has gone in there and just, he's gotten wins over Liverpool, Arsenal. We said it on the last, he's gotten points and he's gotten himself out of the bottom three.
If he can,
are they going to do it again? Are they going to stay up again?
The miracle on ice, except miracle on the pitch, happen. It'd be brilliant because they looked done for.
I mean, who else are they going to stay?
I mean, they're back
Man City next?
They're back in the
right.
They're
United?
After the game the following day, they're back in the relegation zone at 19th instead of 20th.
By a point.
They had 23 points. Bournemouth's at 10th place with 28 points. It's not. That's not a done deal.
Nope.
It's why Swansea City no longer looks like the floundering well. You're just going to lose each week. So
Clucas, who is whatever is happening in the training camp, Clucas is all over it. He scored himself to this match, and the last one he netted a couple assists. He's going to be one to watch out.
Everybody had said this club's got to get a clue, and instead they got a Clucas.
Ferris is not even gonna. That's like dad joke.
I've been studying the dad joke books that Ron got me for Christmas.
I can tell.
Nacho Monreal scores the only one for Arsenal.
Which
Nachos Ian Nachos
he
is
is
back.
trying to get the Nacho Ian Nacho Shack back.
And Arsenal just didn't look all that convincing.
Petr Cech. Oof. That was the second goal, I believe.
Okay, in fairness, it was wet, it was rainy. That ball should have never been passed back to him. Mustafi had a shocker of a game. His confidence is shot. Since Wenger put him on the bench earlier in the year, his confidence is just gone. Because there was talks he was going to go out on loan or go to Serie A or something. That ball should have never been played back to him. Why? Like that throw-in is being played back the way it was. It goes all the way to the goalie, not to a player to then from me to the wall, throwing a pass like that with two oncoming players. You said. I mean, yes, it was a gaffe, but you don't see that a lot from Cech. Kind of just set him up.
I think it was a total shock that it was coming.
Fail.
And like you said, it was wet and slippery. I mean, it was pouring rain, and he wasn't expecting it, and he didn't have the best game overall anyway. So all those things combined to lead to the easiest score against them.
I was not shocked by this at all. Swansea's on a good form. Arsenal's not. I mean, yeah, they had a great game, their last match against Crystal Palace, and it looked like maybe they had kind of come together post Sanchez. But, I mean, these are the games that Arsenal loses. And we're going to get to it, but every other club, with the exception of Liverpool, above Arsenal, blew it and lost. This was Arsenal's chance to gain some ground. Historically, this is precisely when Arsenal is going to lose against a terrible team. When you look at if Chelsea and Man U and all these are dropping points, with the exception of Tottenham, there's a chance to make up some ground. Nope, you're going to lose to Swansea on the bottom of the table.
I think you also, once again, you have to question Arsene Wenger in this. I really think you have to in this game. You just pulled off this insane swap deal.
Well, yeah, we're going to get to that.
Well, no, it was a swap deal. We talked about it on the last podcast.
Oh, something that make it right. And yeah.
He sits on the bench. Everybody wants to see the new signing. They want him to impact the game. I know it was away. I know it was rainy. I know it was a midweek game, but he didn't play in the FA Cup.
Nope.
Why not play him in this game? Why bring him on in the second half when you're already down, away from home? You're not setting him up if you're at home and you're down and you bring him on, the crowd can get behind you. There's more life there. You set him up. Why? Once we've seen this a whole bunch. No matter what game they play, whether they play Liverpool or Tottenham, Lacazette's on the bench, or Giroud's on the bench, or Sanchez is on the bench. Why was he on the bench in this game? He was the big signing coming in. Why?
I can't wait to see the Arsene Wenger documentary called Arsene Knows Best. And it's all about his decisions all over the past, I don't know, 3-4 years.
I mean, I'm with you.
Kalashnikov on the bench.
That's actually, to me, the bigger one because it's the defense.
He's the only one that plays with any sort of gusto. But why? So I think you have to point at Wenger here with the lot.
You're right. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that match. Next one's West Ham Crystal Palace. And it's a big old fat draw. A London draw. 1-1.
Not all that exciting.
That happened.
No.
It was okay.
West Ham, we're going to talk about transfer stuff. The thing with them is they had issues and didn't get things done.
They did sign somebody. Ron, do you have that?
I do when we talk about transfers.
Okay. The one thing I will say is there's been a lot, not necessarily with this game, but the last day of the transfer market, their chief of player development, I believe, Mr. Tony Henry, is he may have been sacked today, but he was also put on suspension.
Yeah,
had a couple of
comments, right?
Racist type comments. He's quoted as saying it's just sometimes they have a bad attitude, referring to African American players. We find that when they are not in the team,
Actually,
they cause mayhem.
I would correct
it's
you.
Nothing against the African race at all.
Yeah.
These are
sorry.
quotes. From
I meant they're not African American.
Right.
Oh yes.
They're of African descent.
Yeah. Sorry. They did confirm today that they have sacked him for unacceptable comments. So that was more off the pitch.
Yeah, but still more salt into the wounds of their kind of rough.
And West Ham hopped on it fast. They suspended. He's gone. But it doesn't help their current situation.
And it already looks like their big signing off the year was Chicharito, and it looks like that's a possibility. He might have gone away during this window.
Yeah.
He did not, but it certainly looks like he's not going to be around after the season.
Yeah,
he certainly wouldn't think so.
Yeah, he's kind of too good a player to stay there. If he wants to,
but not good.
Is he though now?
I don't know. I don't know if he is.
At this point.
To be honest, I think if you gave him, if he was on a good enough team, I think who
he was on Manchester United for years.
Yeah, no, after that,
he went to Bayern Leverkusen, and he did well his first season there,
and then kind of faded away.
Yeah, he was on.
I'm sorry. He went on loan to Real Madrid for a while,
right?
And then he came back, and then
he went to the Mexican league.
He went to Bayer Leverkusen for a few years. His first year, he started off real hot.
I have to look it up because I don't think he was in Europe before he came.
He came from
the Bundesliga.
Leverkusen to West Ham. Yeah.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
I just don't think. And there was a stat that I had heard or saw from somewhere that out of all the goals that Chicharito has scored in the Premier League, they've all been with inside the box.
Yeah, he's a poacher. Yeah,
it's exactly what he is.
Doesn't really create,
which is a good tool to have on the team.
But West Ham needs someone to create.
They also need somebody that can hold the ball up. And Andy Carroll's that person, but Andy Carroll gets hurt if the wind blows the wrong way.
What did the Men in Blaze say? He has a special relationship with gravity.
Yes.
Yes.
He just,
And that's true. Moving on. Liverpool, man, they take it to Huddersfield 3-0.
Huddersfield's bad downswing right now.
Some really wicked goals in this match. That Chan's goal was
that was beautiful.
Fantastic,
that was a beautiful goal.
Oh my gosh.
He could be gone in the summer as well. A lot of talks that he can go to Juventus.
Yeah, I think I think it's imperative that Liverpool stay in the top 4. They've got some really good players, and if they want to retain folks like.
Do you think they will?
I mean, they're sitting at third now. They managed to squeak up on some goal differential into third. Yeah, I mean they have all the talent to comfortably push for second. I know one's going to get first. I mean, but like other than Man City, I don't know, because they do pull Liverpool's where they do the same thing Arsenal just did, and you lose these games that you've no business losing after you beat a Man City. That's such a Liverpool thing. I mean, like, yeah. So, Tony's gonna be so mad at me.
He'll get over it because it's true.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I think they do stay in the top 4. To be honest.
The stats speak for themselves.
That they do. I think they will stay.
I think the bigger debate is Tottenham. We'll get to them. But
Huddersfield has to change this around because they've been on a bad downswing.
They started
sitting
great,
right above the drop on 24 points. Southampton on 23, but they also have a minus 25. Not good.
No,
not good.
That's been Stoke, right? They got the worst. Yeah, Stoke and them both have negative 25. They both have the worst goal differential.
And Huddersfield has tumbled down the table quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but still, again, they are 24 points. Bournemouth at 10th is 28. It's still such a close.
Oh yeah, it's
this bottom.
It's all spread by what is it, 9th through all the way by like 5 points or something like that. It's in.
But that means they have to make up the ground now. Because once it starts separating out toward the end of the year,
this is when it gets hard.
It's going to get way worse.
They also need to start getting points from teams that like Stokes and Watford's. Not Liverpool. You don't really expect them to get.
Oh, sure,
points from.
I mean, earlier in the year, they had been pulling out some great games where they were kind of punching above the weight a bit. Not so much now.
Yes.
Not so much now.
Well, and they're playing United tomorrow. At 10 a.m., and they beat them earlier in the year.
I was going to say, and
it's United at home, which is a little bit more difficult. But yeah, they need to get points, and they need to get some points fast because they're sitting at 24, and what's that golden point mark?
Well, and with any luck, Man United will score some goals for Huddersfield, and they'll be good. Moving on to the next match.
You're so proud of yourself on that one, aren't you? So proud of yourself.
Moving on to the next match.
Now you know what it feels like every time Cahill scores an own goal.
I know. You're like, wait, Cahill? Did he just go to Man United? What happened?
The Chelsea England center back pairing for the World Cup is not looking good right now.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
Oh, I did like your headline for the Huddersfield Liverpool. So Liverpool can beat a team at the bottom of the table. Yeah, there you go.
Can being the
Henry Chan, but it's Chan.
Yep.
So really, what you wrote was Liverpool can beat a team at the bottom of the table. Oh, man, mine are bad. Next up, Stoke City at Watford, 0-0. Headline is 0. Guys, they're terrible. Or a terrible match to watch.
The only good thing from this was that both got a point. Both needed a point. Watford needed a point, especially with new coach. God only knows what the hell his name is now.
This match was so terrible. 7 yellow cards in this match. 7.
But moving on, Man City.
So Man City, West Brom. West Brom now sitting at the bottom of the table with 20 points, negative 15 goal differential, and they get stomped coming into Man City, the 3-0.
It's Man City, you kind of expect that. You don't expect to get points here, but being in that 20th spot, if you're West Brom, has to be very
especially with a Swansea that's picking up. Yeah, Swansea's only above them.
You're 2 games away from getting out of the bottom. You're not just a game or a point.
Yeah, you're 2 solid games.
You're 2 solid games away.
And yeah, Swansea
with one
is
having to be a win.
Swansea is sitting just above them at 19, so I don't mean to make it like they're out, they're clear. But Swansea having a bit of good form. West Brom has not. Like that one match where he chose to play like Pulis that worked for them a few weeks ago.
They got the corner headed goals.
Yeah, but since then, just nothing, man, nothing.
Nothings. Them's are winning nothings.
Like Cornelius when he's Rudolph throws his pick in the ground. Nothing.
Nobody tells me nothing from was it Hot Fuzz?
Oh,
Nobody
right.
tells me nothing.
Nobody tells me nothing. I don't know nothing about no skeletons.
You haven't seen Bad Boys 2 and Point Break.
Oh man, we really do just need rando movie podcast. So that moves us on to Southampton against Brighton Hove Albion. Well, yeah, it's pretty. Well, there's at least 2 goals, a penalty early on, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It was kind of a snooze fest. Brighton Hove Albion sitting at 24 points as well. Basically, 17th place, 16th place, 15th, 14th, all sitting with 24 points.
Scary part of that is, and we're going to get to this team here in a second, but Newcastle, Brighton, Huddersfield, all the teams that came up, real possibility that they all could go down.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Flirting with disaster.
And
Anyway.
earlier in the season, that wasn't looking the case.
No, they were all up there in
They were all up
9th and 10th and 11th, living the Premier League life. Suckers.
Yeah, they go down again. I don't know that Rafa Benitez sticks around for that one.
I don't think Newcastle will go down, but they're flirting with it really bad because they're only a point up.
They're going to make people nervous. Well, and speaking of Newcastle rolling on, they play against Burnley, 1-1 draw.
And that one comes from an own goal by
Which was awesome.
Darlow.
It was a complete cluster. It was off a corner, and the ball just got played around, and the ball bounced around, and then bounced off the crossbar, off the goalie's head as he's like falling back into the goal, and then back into the goal. It was just like what
Off the rafters,
hell?
through the window,
Exactly.
nothing but net. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it was
old
crazy.
Bird and Jordan commercials. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a pinball spinning around in there, and you couldn't. When I saw it, did that really just go in? Those guys are having the worst day when that happens.
The goal scorer for Newcastle has been out for a while, but is back in, and he could be somebody that if Newcastle does go down, he's leaving the club. Jermaine Sells, really good center back for them, deadly on set pieces and corners, and he's been hurt a little bit in the past few weeks. I know because I have him in fantasy, but he lovely goal in this, and he's kind of the one keeping them.
And Burnley still sitting in 7th. Because Leicester blows an opportunity to actually leap them for the first time.
Yep.
Leicester,
because they lost it.
No, they have
lose
to them
to
a few
Everton.
weeks back. Though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess they did. I guess they caught them, but they lose a chance to hop up because they lose as they face Everton at Everton 2-1. Theo Walcott with a brace.
I would say so far the most productive of all the trades so far. I mean, obviously we haven't
quickly for
we haven't-
short,
right,
yeah.
how short.
I mean,
he's
his
been
first
there.
game was nothing to talk about, but this game, he did well. He got himself into good spots. Had that angry bird on his shirt sleeve there, and
Theo's got a
put the goals back in the
plan.
net.
Theo's plan is to score as much as he can and go somewhere else.
Well, so far he is clicking pretty well with the Everton style.
He might fit with him just perfectly. Yep. And have a pretty good career there at Everton.
I think being under Big Sam, who England manager, I believe he may have brought Theo in on a couple of his England games at the very few. You could tell that Big Sam wanted him there, has kind of put some confidence in him, started him, played him in an attacking role. I think if he keeps that confidence going, you're gonna see goals out of him.
Yep.
Those goals should be enough to keep Everton up in the good spot.
And
They still need somebody up front, but he's
got pace.
quick addition.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That pace helps Everton because they are lacking sorely. Because there's another signing out of that where Everton loses a part of their team. Which we'll get all the transfers and stuff later.
Everton?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You serious, Clark?
I'm serious. It's a gift that don't keep on giving. Next up, oh man, me and Ferris sitting here in studio wearing our Bournemouth kits. Ron's not wearing his though.
Why not, Ron?
What's the headline? Cherries too sweet for Stamford Bridge. As at home, Chelsea loses to Bournemouth 3-0.
At Stamford Bridge.
And
they were some lovely Callum Wilson's first goal was one of the most beautiful work goals I've seen all year.
So happy to see him healthy. And
man, he's a player. And I got him on fantasy too. That always helps. But they just, it was all within a matter of like 18 minutes.
Yeah. Bournemouth really missed Callum Wilson. Really missed Callum Wilson. So it's cool to see him. Cool to see him back. Chelsea's got some problems.
Well, and Bournemouth had been going through a bit of a slump. They couldn't score.
Yeah.
They were having issues. Oddly enough, they're going to go against the previous winner of the Premier League, who is also currently having a tough time scoring. And Bournemouth scores 3-0. I love their what is it now? They said like since they've been promoted to the Premier League, they have beaten the current champion every year.
They've beat.
There's 3 years now.
They beat United. They beat Liverpool. They beat. I mean, not champions, but they beat a lot of the big.
But the
I see what you're saying.
Who won the Premier League? They beat Leicester. They beat like.
Oh yeah.
Like they've won.
They beat the reigning champ.
Yeah, beat reigning champ each year.
Love the cherry.
Yeah, they just look great. I mean, and because it's so tight on the bottom, this one win pulls them back up to 10th place.
And here's what I will say about Chelsea before
Just 3 below Everton
chimes in, and you probably argue if you want. Come Monday at 5:00, you could see Conte out of a job come Tuesday.
I really think it's going to depend on the result from Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, no, don't think you guys play on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
We play on
That's
Monday.
what I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
And his comments after this game
Who's the match on Monday?
were basically asking for him to be fired. He was just like, I make the decisions, come at me.
Yeah,
I'm paraphrasing a lot, but
there's a lot going on.
You said, "Come at me, bro," but in Italian, and
it sounded so much
it was much more
nicer and
sophisticated.
smooth. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
There's just a lot going on. I don't think the board doesn't get along with Conte at all.
Yeah.
But I don't think they will can him in the mid-season. I could be totally wrong, but I don't think they're going to can him mid-season because while they're not doing amazing, they are still in the top 4. And there's so much other stuff going on in the club. I don't really think that, and we'll get into this with the signings, but I don't really think their signings are really going to help them that much.
Agreed.
And part of that is on the board, not Conte.
Seems like a lot of panic buys.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Chelsea would be out of those. I think Chelsea, the one that currently in the top 4, I think Chelsea would be the one that misses out on the
Who's
top
your
4
Monday?
this year.
Oh, your Monday match is Watford. Okay.
Yeah. Right now, it seems like the front office is not listening to the suggestions that Conte is giving and the people he's trying to go after. And the board is puts the Chelsea springs a leak. The board puts a finger in there, and another one springs a leak. So they put the other finger in there, and there's just too many leaks. And there's a lot in the press. I've been reading a lot this week about how much the board and Conte do not get along. He makes suggestions about who they should purchase and who they should go after, and we've missed out on so many talented players in the early transfer windows in the summer, and we missed out on good transfers again in January here. And like I said, I don't think our transfers are really going to help us.
I want to see. This is tough. This is because I do want to talk about the transfers because it plays into this.
Well, we only got one more game to go.
Yeah,
so let's just do one more game, and then
we'll put a pin in the Chelsea conversation because we're going to get to that. Oh, but wait a minute. One last time. Cherries 3, Chelsea 0.
Cherries.
Oh yeah, well, Tottenham 2, Man U zip.
Yep.
So
take that. Ding.
We all lost this week.
Boy,
that's rare that all 3 of our teams lose at one time.
That was rough.
It was a little rough.
Eriksson in 11 seconds. Oh, that was beautiful.
Oh my gosh. We literally had just cut it off. And I was like,
it was like 18, but.
No, dude.
It was
11.
It was 11, which is oddly enough only the 3rd fastest goal in Premier League history.
7 is the quickest.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Because at first they wondered if it was the quickest when it first happened.
Yeah, because it happened so quick.
and then a beautiful own goal. And only Phil Jones can outclass an 11-second goal. That's a great headline, brother, and you wrote it. I love it.
Beautiful strike by Phil Jones.
You see it, you're like, dude, what?
He puts that right into the top of the
I turned
net.
to Phil because Phil and I went to the freaking can.
You
We're
and Phil
sitting there.
Jones? Because Phil Jones was drinking.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. So we had just gotten there, and I went down the way to that mac and cheese place and got the buffalo mac and cheese there.
By the way, if
Crooked Can.
anyone ever takes our
Oh,
recommendation of going to visit the Crooked Can Brewery,
man. You should.
go also
It's
have
awesome.
the mac and
Right.
cheese joint that's
It is.
inside there.
And the barbecue
Delightful.
joint now.
I literally had walked in, hadn't even gotten a beer yet, and I'm look up and there's like Tottenham celebrating, and I'm like, what? I'm gonna go get some food. Came back, they obviously scored, and then Phil, as soon as he put it in, we're sitting there. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was a beautiful strike.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
If
I
you
don't really know
didn't
what to
see
say.
it, there was a cross coming in. Phil,
tough on a defender.
Phil Jones has to go for it and is trying to play it back behind the line, up and over the net, and he severely misses that, and he puts it right into the back of the net.
The only
And
thing
a
you can say that he
beautiful-
could have done is instead of swinging with his right, swing with the left.
So
you
now-
get the ball going the opposite. But that's so hard to do when
Yeah.
you're trying to push back towards the goal.
Right. You're just trying to get a foot on it to stop it.
Yeah.
And with that
Essentially.
loss, I feel like the math is now 99.9999998% that Man City's.
I think Mourinho came out today and said he pretty much conceded, which is fine. I think everybody knew that. The loss didn't really hurt us that much. It was not our night. Plain and simple. It was.
No, I
there was
disagree.
well, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. There was a penalty shot in this, but I'm not going to go into that because Tottenham tactically
Completely outplayed.
completely outplayed. They dominated the midfield. They had a couple of early cards that they could have been in trouble for. I think Dembele got an early card. And right after the 11-second goal, United looked strong. They attacked. They had some opportunities. Lloris made some good saves. But then once the Jones goal went in, it just kind of deflated. And it was no coming back from that. But which is odd because Mourinho went with, I think, 6 attackers in this almost. He went Martial, Sanchez, Lukaku, Lingard, Pogba. I'm missing somebody in that too. But
Did
Who?
you say Sanchez yet?
yeah, I did.
Okay.
Which is just Sanchez's first start in the Premier League. And then Sanchez was a ghost for
He played Phil Jones.
majority of this. That's true. He did play Phil Jones as a attacker very well. Yes. Lovely strike. He scored a great goal.
Yeah, Sanchez didn't really exist in that match.
Tottenham came out and Tottenham ran the midfield. And what that did and how both of these goals for Tottenham started was when they dominate the midfield, it forced Ashley Young and Valencia and the center backs to kind of compress inwards.
Yeah.
And you saw Ashley Young did not have a good game at all. But when they compressed inwards, they got the ball out. They got the ball out to number 2 on Tottenham. It kept going up and down the damn pitch. He killed Young. I don't remember his name. But he would get the ball in, and that's how the first Eriksson goal, it got out wide, then went in, and then it was back played. The second goal with Phil Jones was out wide and a cross in. They just dominated. And tactically, this Tottenham played this perfectly. Yes, I mean, an 11-second goal and an own goal. It could look like it was a fortunate 2-0, but it wasn't.
And it has to make Spurs fans nuts because you see how they play against Man United, and you're going, why isn't Tottenham second? But they're sitting outside of the top 4 and have been a lot. But it
this
feels
win didn't even get them into the top 4.
no. It feels like they've got all the pieces, but
And they added, too.
yeah, they did. But it's for whatever reason, they're just not.
The other thing they did really well was they really, I mean, you could argue that he didn't have that great a game, but they reined in Pogba very well.
Oh, yeah, he got subbed off.
63rd
yeah,
minute.
in
But
second.
that whole
Yeah.
that whole first half, they really had him under wraps. And your midfield is really dependent on him being able to maraud through the midfield.
It was who was the midfield? It was the Dembele, Eriksson, and I'm forgetting one in there as well. That there was like a 3-headed Daniele.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say about Daniele. I'm going to go on a short rant.
Dele Alli?
Whatever the his name is, I don't care at this point. He's a dirty player. Dude has skill like no other, but he is a dirty player. There is a difference from being a cheap shot artist or doing almost, I don't want to say Suarez, but giving like elbows in the box, pinching the old nipple like what was it, Jose in Costa Rica. You're just a pest at that point, right? He tries to injure people. He took a swipe at Sanchez. He just took a swipe. That's it. Was that going to injure him? No, but why? He did it a few games back where he went in studs up. He tries to hurt people. That's why he's a punk. And one of these days, if he was playing back when Cantona was playing, or the guy that played for Arsenal, was a beast at the back. If he would have played during that time, the teams would self-govern themselves, and he'd get a bow to the lip, or he would stop doing that very easy. He probably will. He runs into Joey Barton or
Mickey Bubbles.
Mickey Bubbles in the game. But it frustrates me so bad because he's so talented, but he's so young, and he's not necessarily young and dumb because he knows what he's doing. There's you can tell that he understands and he's intentionally doing that. It's not a flash of just like anger. It's like it's something different. And it can get him into trouble. And somebody from Tottenham needs to just pull him by the collar and give him a lashing and be like, you are so talented. You could go and do amazing things, but you got to get this side of your game out of you. That's all I got.
And everybody's noticing it. Although they're not calling him on it.
But you're not gonna call it, and it's gonna build and build.
You know what that made?
Players are gonna put it into their own hands, and he could get seriously hurt. And I don't want him to get seriously hurt, but somebody's gonna be like, "F you, bro."
Or he's gonna seriously hurt
punk
someone.
Kid, and some 36-year-old Premier League vet is gonna go in with a tackle and be like, "F you, bro."
It should have been Zlatan with a spinning hook kick to the head.
I said that. I was like, please send in Zlatan and just karate kick him right in the chest. Just bomb.
Jump spinning back kick right to the face.
Yes! Kung fu the out of him. I'm done. But yeah, Tottenham completely outplayed Manchester United. On to the next game. We're not getting first. At least get in top four. I'm happy with that. Make a good Champions League run. Make a good FA Cup run. Boom, done.
I hope you're
still excited for Sanchez.
I hope you're still top four.
Well, we still remained in second after this game.
You do.
So, I mean,
top three,
I think we're going to bounce back tomorrow. And it's still a long year. And as long as we make the top four, I'm happy with that because nobody's catching City right now.
No. We just hope Phil Jones gets the golden boot.
Oh, my gosh. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes. Let's talk about some transfers. So pass me another beer, dude.
True story.
This beer's great. This hotbed is awesome from Pair O Dice. Okay, so gosh, it was really hard not to kind of get into these. So as you put here on the content notes, Premier League sets a brand new January transfer window with records by clubs spending roughly £150 million on deadline day, reaching over £430 million for the entire month.
New records.
I don't think by far we've had a January, because usually the signings are, there's that, oh man, I hope this works out, for my club. I hope they snag someone. But the January window is like this kind of fool's errand where, come on, man, you're not going to get that one player. However, several teams went after that one player. Like that
and it started
huge,
early too.
Yeah, the huge players. I mean, the Sanchez, the Mkhitaryan stuff.
Virgil van Dijk kind of set it all off with the new world defender record.
And
of
then
75,
Man City
whatever.
just barely was under that record for their defender that they have.
Laporte. Oh, I didn't put that on here.
Yeah, so I guess we can just start with this, down in order that you have listed here. So Arsenal, the big will they, won't they? Is this going to happen? They sign Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Dortmund for a new record fee for the club, $56 million.
This would have been this is still a very good signing, and I think a lot of people are excited to see him. This would have been a better signing in the summer.
Better signing in
or
the summer.
2 years ago.
But here's this is crazy. This one is going to actually force us to talk about Chelsea as well, because Chelsea was a part of making this happen.
And then parlayed it and went.
Yeah, it went all over the place. So this whole will they, won't they with the Aubameyang thing. By the way, it should be noted at this point, after the January window is done, the 3 players that have scored 60 goals for Arsenal, or the players that have scored 60 goals for Arsenal the last 3 years, no longer play for the club.
They gone.
They're all gone. It is a completely untested, while on paper, powerhouse front now of people.
But how do you fit them all in the lineup?
I don't know, and it is a lineup that Wenger would never play. Like that's not.
He's not playing
he doesn't play like
4-4-2.
Yeah, he doesn't do that. Why not with this crew?
You don't have the personnel to do that first. How does Lacazette feel right now?
Yeah, because
Arsenal broke the
record with
club
him.
transfer with him, and then 4 months later broke it with another player. Oh, which happens to be a striker as well.
Yeah, I think
a confidence killer.
Absolutely.
So the question is, does Arsene really know what Arsenal needs? Because
what they needed was somebody in the back. They needed, which I did see that. So West Brom confirmed that Arsenal on deadline day did go in for Johnny Evans, but it was so low that they were just like, get out of here. And he would have been a good signing for them if they would have pulled that off.
No, now they're going to do...
But a little too late. Why wait to the last day to do that? Why not go after Johnny Evans on January 1st? Because going to Ron's point, that's Wenger. Does he know... You guys needed 2 things, in my opinion. A center back and a Nemanja Matic Conte type player. Somebody that can sit in the midfield, put in a tackle.
Didn't you hear? That's going to be
the ball
that's going to be
around,
Santi Cazorla when he comes back in 2020.
In 1735.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
that was actually
how
way backwards.
How does that go?
That was Back to the Future there.
There was a Wenger threw something out about they hope they can keep him around. I'm like, well, I hope they keep him around because he doesn't cost anything. And he's like, I'll play for free because I don't know anything else.
The men players call him the little sausage in a kit or something.
The sausage casing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Aubameyang is a great. Lacazette was supposed to be that signing. Lacazette has not had a,
He has 12 or has 9 goals on the year. He hasn't played bad. He's had chances. He's been creative. I thought he's played very well in this first.
So how do you set up with this team? How do you set up with Mkhitaryan and Lacazette and Aubameyang? Well, what are you doing with this?
That's a really good question.
Is Aubameyang with the pace play off the right? No, I don't think so.
I would probably say you do a modified back 5 where you have any combination of Holding, Mustafi.
Anybody in red that can breathe.
Exactly. Koscielny with Bellerin, Monreal, or Sled Kolasinac off on the right and left. And then Xhaka.
What do you play? Do you play a 4-3-3? Do you shift
Xhaka Ramsey or Xhaka Wilshere? And then you
you have to keep Wilshere because he's
right, and then you do Ozil, Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang. My math accurate on that?
And then you have
so that would leave
previous record signing.
That would leave
sitting on
Lacazette on the bench. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. Yeah.
Arsenal had 23 players out this season so far, meaning transferred out, whether on loan or
the Chelsea method.
Actually, Chelsea's the highest in the,
yes, they
in the
exactly.
league.
That's what I said. They've already done that.
41 players.
So we should mention Chelsea's desperate for a scorer.
Well, I think it has to be noted they were desperate for a big bruising striker.
Yes,
forward because they were linked with Peter Crouch. They were linked with
Diego. What are you up to again right now?
But that goes back to the Conte thing.
Yeah,
the way he handled that player management there, not good, and has shown this year.
He was doing. It seemed to pay off when Murata was healthy and Murata was scoring.
Murata was getting service.
Correct. 6 of his 11 goals, 10 or 11 goals, the assists were from Azpilicueta.
Spanish connection.
And I don't know. So he's injured and out, and so now we have no out and out striker.
But
Michy Batshuayi.
So well,
That's
but,
who-
right, and this is where this all ties in together because the crazy thing should be mentioned about Arsenal. It should not their move. Well, whether it pays off really in the field, we don't know. But as far as getting a big signing, this move of theirs paid off. But we shouldn't ignore how close it didn't. Like they almost closed the January window, another complete failed transfer where they're sitting no better because Dortmund will release Aubameyang, but they want a striker back, and they had wanted Giroud. Giroud did not want to leave London.
His wife didn't want to leave.
We're right. Didn't want to leave London, and Giroud is not only good looking but a smart and intelligent man and wants to live a happy life. So he says, "Okay, honey," but he wants to stay in London. So now your record signing hinges on the fact that your rival club, Chelsea, needs a striker and also wants to get rid of Batshuayi, which I got to be honest, if I'm Dortmund, I'm like, F you, give me Giroud, not Batshuayi.
Did you see Batshuayi today in Dortmund?
Well,
In the Bundesliga game?
Yeah.
2 goals and an assist on his debut, and they won 3-2.
And so then the question is back to Conte on that kind of a move. If Batshuayi, you need a score so desperately. So now that's the dominoes.
And
that had
Conte is
to
not
fall.
really fond of Batman.
I would like to interrupt.
And I only bring that up again to say that is how close Arsenal barely pulled this
Right.
off. It
And
was
Arsenal
not-
did it because they have, I think Arsenal also sees Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang getting back to
Yes, but-
circa 2013-12 when those two were clicking and scoring goals
I
in the
think
Bundesliga.
Arsenal did it to save face.
They just brought in big names or big names. They didn't bring in what they needed.
Correct. They just did it to be like, look.
Yeah. But again, the fate wasn't in their own
Hashtag Yo
hands.
Pierre.
It was in the hands of their rival club. You know what I mean? It's just
Right.
crazy.
And I think,
But Arsenal's known for doing that, though. Sorry,
well, at least for the past
Van Persie to United. United won the league that year. Now Sanchez to United. So they're known for that.
I don't think Conte should have traded Batshuayi off. He was actually performing. It was in the past few games. I mean, we didn't have him for this last match, but the past few games, he and Hazard have been connecting. He's been, getting a rhythm and understanding the team better. He has saved our bacon many times. Last season, he was the last buzzer scorer to lift us over. I forget who it was.
Was that FA Cup game? Or Chupacabra Cup?
Chupacabra Cup.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he was the last minute scorer, and that was kind of his introduction to the first team. And so we trade him away and we grab Giroud. And I'm not saying Giroud is bad because he's not, but it's not what Chelsea needed.
He's an off the bench goal scorer. At least at Arsenal he was.
But you know what? He's an off the bench goal scorer with his head, right? He doesn't do a whole lot with his feet that
And
much.
his scorpion kick.
That one time. And
For a brief second, they had both scorpion kickers on
It's
Arsenal.
Mkhitaryan's never learned how to do it right.
that's fair. But also, we already have that. We already have that player. We have Murata. The two strikers are very similar in style. Why did it? We didn't need a go up top and get the ball type striker. We needed a creative guy who can just run and take on defenders and make unbelievable shots.
Is that the system that Conte plays, though? Or like why else would they go for Giroud? Or a big... Because they were going for like Andy Carroll as well, right? Wasn't that the thing?
Well,
yeah, but he's had in a lot of his previous teams, he's had a lot of rough and tough strikers who just run at defenders and make and take
it
chances.
wasn't the conversation also that Chelsea might be willing to throw a lot of money at like Mahrez? That was
Well, we'll get into that one here. And
right,
we
but
should've got
also
that.
not an out and out striker.
No.
So
I feel like they would have been better going off of points and chips in a plane.
But here's here's the interesting thing. This goes on the Arsenal side as well. Batshuayi goes to Dortmund, scores immediately. Aubameyang was great, scoring a ton in Dortmund. Now comes to Arsenal. Giroud, if he doesn't score, and Aubameyang is sitting there, Lacazette not scoring.
I'm so confused.
What I'm saying is the proof there is that Dortmund has the setup to make a striker score.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chelsea and Arsenal, while picking up strikers, still may not have that setup.
And the two they brought in, is it worth losing Sanchez over? A lot of people say no.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. For Arsenal? Oh, no,
I would say
yeah, absolutely.
I would say you didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Because if
Too toxic.
No, you did have a choice. You signed him up a year ago, 2 years ago. Arsenal put themselves in the Sanchez.
Yeah, but he didn't want to play for Arsenal
he didn't
anymore.
want it. Yeah.
But you never let a player get down to less than a year on their contract.
No,
that's Arsenal's fault.
No, that part is true, but you can't make the player produce for you if he hates being there. So whether or not you
your argument isn't that you should have kept him; it's that they should have got rid of him last year.
yeah.
This trade and the sales.
Fine, whatever. But it's still Arsenal's mismanagement of that situation that they didn't help themselves at all.
Because Aubameyang's a cool signing. I just don't know if there's the setup like he had at Dortmund to rack in these goals. Lacazette.
Well, they're hoping Mkhitaryan will do.
Yeah, I mean,
but then who the hell? You guys gonna be like 5?
But Chelsea
4
is in the
games.
same
There's no
boat
way
of
back.
they need goals. I don't know that Giroud love the lumbersexual though I do.
Chelsea went after this. We can just have the best damn looking pair of strikers in the league. Like the Spanish conquistador and the lumbersexual just wooing Stamford Bridge all day long. Just give him a look and.
But you know what? Only if he produces.
Yeah.
Which he's going to get a chance. He'll get a chance tomorrow because I believe the back injury is still hindering Mr. Morata. So he'll get a chance tomorrow. And I don't know if is that a home or no, not tomorrow. We talked about it. That's on Monday.
It's going to be an interesting match.
It is.
Hopefully, I'll get to watch it because it'll be.
But you guys also signed,
and he made
these are kind of
that was
random.
£18 million for Giroud, by the way.
Ross Barkley made his debut in this game where they lost 3-0, right? Didn't he? That shows you that.
Oh, Ross Barkley, right? They get Ross Barkley from Everton.
Mm-hmm.
So Everton again. Everton at 31 points.
Yeah, but
That's
they kind of fell out of favor with each other, and he wasn't
Yeah.
playing, so they sent him on his way. Smart.
We also have Danny Drinkwater.
Yeah, he came in.
He
last
came
day
in
in the summer.
Yeah, and I mean he's been okay.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just down on the luck right now, and
You can't score, man. You can't not score for the other team.
They need to
Rough
fire
spot to be in.
Conte, bring John Terry back as a player
As a
manager.
coach.
Yeah, why the hell not?
Oh,
Just do it.
jeez. I mean, yeah, I want to see that.
Exactly.
Well,
cheers.
on the Conte front, again, this falls under the who. Well, you're still sitting in fourth. Yes, if they lost to Watford, I still don't know if he gets canned because
He's canned by the end of the week.
you won the Premier League.
I don't
sitting
think
in
so.
Europe.
I think they're going to keep him to the end of the year.
Bet right now.
It's not the
Mace beer crap that we
the Dogfish Head is making a beer made with mace.
Mace, right. If Chelsea lose on Monday, I will drink that beer if he does not get fired by the end of the week.
Well, that's an easy bet for you to make, considering
Right.
we probably won't get our hands on one.
That's true. That beer is the heart.
It's
drink
only
one of
being
them
sold for a limited time,
Pigskin ones,
like
whatever the hell it's called.
700 miles
Horse
away.
No, it's more fun if it's a club that you're really rooting for that screws up, and then you have to drink something terrible. I don't mean you.
no, yeah,
I mean
why not?
whoever it falls on. Like
So
that'd be a met. Like the bet. It's more along. It's got to be like
All right, fine.
like Arsenal will get the first win instead of Chelsea between Ron and I, and that would be so that your team took the crap and you get the. You see how this thing works? It needs to be double humiliation for the person losing.
Gotcha, coach.
Yeah, that's how it's got to be. Because what was the one last year? Oh, Arsenal will end higher on the table than Man U. That was what it was. So whichever one of us had to drink
I demand a recount.
the Moo Thunder. That's how that worked.
It was
somebody
Moo
made
Thunder
a
shake.
a Moo Thunder ice
that-
cream
That
shake.
was your idea
I
too.
thought it was a good idea.
It was a terrible idea.
Minus
You're
the
right.
vomiting for 4 hours later.
Did we not vomit? My stomach didn't sit well that night, but I did not vomit.
Do we get to Tottenham signing?
No, but real quick, 41 players are out of Chelsea in this season, not just the January transfer
Hang
window.
on.
90% on transfer.
Diego Costa and Matic being the two biggest.
Yeah, we really miss Matic.
You really missed Diego Costa, to be honest with you.
It's true. I mean, not the attitude, but
But to
sure
be
you do.
honest,
Sure you do.
Only temporarily. Only temporarily do we miss him because
Why?
we miss Matic every match,
oh yeah.
not just occasionally.
But that type of player, that scorer, the rough up front that Costa could be, that is what you need. I just don't know where. I don't know who you were going to get. Tottenham signs Lucas Moura. Say that right, Moura, from Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, with their new signings and
Good pickup for
Neymar,
them.
very good pickup. It's kind of, I mean, again, is that what they need? I think it can help.
I
Because
think
they
it's
have a
little
lot of
stack in the
wingers
deck.
there.
I think it's a
Yeah.
little stack in the deck for them because I think they know they're probably going to be losing
Yeah.
some. Is what that is.
And for cheap, too. I mean, think about what the costs are for every other
So-
player, and
So
only £23 million. So that's not bad.
and then a name that always floats up: Daniel Sturridge completes his loan deal to West Brom from Liverpool.
I think this was a good signing for them.
For them,
For who?
yes, for them.
For
Daniel Sturridge is like crap.
West Brom? I think he just wants to play. I think if he plays regularly and
Come
can score
on
for them,
down to
he'll
MLS.
be in the World Cup squad.
Fair enough.
And I think we talked about Pardew hasn't done anything to change their style. Sturridge is a Pardew player. So
he's a Pardew player.
He's a
That
Pardew
sounds like
player.
a gang of dudes with martinis going to the Pardew players.
They're a barbershop quartet.
Yeah. Hello.
Go.
From Robin Hood to barbershop quartets. Jack Harrison. Some of this stuff gets weird. Jack Harrison of NYCFC joins Manchester City and becomes an Umbro player on a 3.5-year deal for $6 million, and then is immediately loaned out to Championship Club Middlesbrough. Now, it's cool. He goes to Middlesbrough. Their other thing that we don't have listed here is the mixed disc screwed.
Is that actually like a real thing?
Yep.
Yes.
I thought maybe it was one of those like they put it out there.
Because I said that wrong. And Mixed Discrude was the Umbro player.
Yes, correct.
Right.
So Mixed Discrude, who plays for NYCFC. Now, this is going to get us into a little MLS vortex for a change, the Premier League vortex. But I bring it up because the Jack Harrison one going to Middlesbrough, which is awesome for him. Get over to and if MLS is continue to grow, be a great league as it grows, then they're going to start players. We're going to pop out to Europe from time to time.
See, I think this is actually kind of bad for Jack Harrison because Jack Harrison, excuse me again, is a Stoke boy, and there was a lot of talk that Stoke could bring him in. I actually think Stoke could use him.
Well, but
now he's there, but then immediately loaned out.
Well, but on the other side with the Mixed Discrude situation. So they signed Mixed Disc. I was so confused. We all were. We saw it. Umbro's excited to have Mixed Discrude as part of the Man. You're like Man City. I mean, not Man.
Umbro announced it. Right?
You're like, wait, what? So, if I'm understanding this correctly, Man City, the overall organization that owns NYCFC,
they're Nike.
they have now signed Mixed Discrude, which allows them to very cheaply loan Mixed Discrude back to NYCFC and avoid salary cap situations in the MLS. What a load of crap. Now, they haven't done it yet, but it does set that situation up.
Yeah, that precedent.
It's called a
could be
loophole.
set.
That's called we've got to change things in the way MLS did.
Financial fair play
With the allocated and target money.
loophole.
Well, yeah, but that's weird.
Well, you know what's
this
funny?
isn't?
Mixed Discrude was voted by his peers the most overrated player in the MLS. And I would agree
That's a
with
mixed
that.
bag.
Oh. Where's the cymbal sound
But
effects?
ching.
Thank you.
Anyway, got a little off to the side there, but
I love this thing in the Daily Mail. Discroot is not expected to train with the First City at City. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You think? Hey, go in there and hop in there with David Silva and De Bruyne. Yeah, have fun.
Yeah. Who thought
break.
that, hey, he's being traded? I thought, I wonder what the ulterior motive is.
There
And then
it is.
about an hour later, I found out. Never in a million years would I have thought that Man City would have started in any way, shape, or form, or subbed in mixed Discaroo.
Right. No, absolutely. Jack Harrison has a much better shot
Absolutely.
at getting in. But to Blake's point, this is some weird stuff because of the connection that Man City owns NYCFC, and now they can kind of bounce these players, loan, boom. It gets into some weird stuff that you're right. And it's going to have to be looked at if it keeps going down this type of road.
especially a club like NYCFC, who has a lot of pieces in place to make another title push. And if they do, and they do it doing this kind of stuff, it looks weird. It looks weird on MLS.
It does, but you got to give the owners
Hey,
of Man City
If it's
some credit.
There's no
because
rules
freaking
against
lose.
it.
That was a ballsy thing to do.
you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
very-
no, I'm just,
There's nothing. There's no
How
rules
very
against
NASCAR of you.
Yeah. They're not cheating, but no. If you can, if you're doing it within the confines of what is currently in place,
There's just no other large club
Right.
who owns a club in the MLS.
Right.
So,
Yep.
but you see what could happen. All right. Slimani.
Islam Slimani.
Joins Newcastle on loan from Leicester City.
It's the only player they really brought in, but I think that's a good sign.
They just, well, they,
It
really
is.
do.
I wonder why Leicester
really do.
let him roll, because when they start him and they start him consistently, he was proving to be very, very helpful.
Leicester
in that.
have some backup though.
But are they but the backup wasn't, in my opinion, wasn't as consistent as Slimani was when Slimani was being played consistently.
And it brought him on. It brought a different aspect because their backup is Okazaki for Vardy, and sometimes they'll play together and behind stuff, but it's only on loan. And Leicester, I think, feel at this point that they're pretty much safe. That could change though, because a lot of Riyad Mahrez going back to City real quick. City kind of flirted with Mahrez on the news that Sane is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
And they went after Mahrez, but Leicester was like, we evaluate him as like an 80 million pound player. And City were like, we're not paying that.
and,
Right.
and
Good for both clubs.
Leicester
doing
was
that,
like,
Yeah.
Man City, you got that in your back pocket.
but what? Yeah, what that did, it turned Mahrez's head, and he hasn't shown up at training since, from all reports, and is in a little bit of a pouting session. So
He's going to be the next Alexis
yeah, when you
Sanchez.
have Mahrez, you can let Slimani go, and you still have some firepower there. Now it's, well, Mahrez doesn't get his head out of his, you know what? Then you got Vardy and Okazaki, and
Now you censor yourself after I've dropped 8 beeps into this episode. All right. Well done. Andre Ayew from West Ham,
going back.
going back to, and Andy King, loan from Leicester City, join Swansea City.
Good pickups from them.
Yeah, I think that was smart.
Swansea, and I was going to say about
The Ayus are back together. Jordan and what's his name? Andre.
Andre.
I was going to say
they're
about
back together.
Newcastle as well, and it's the same Swansea City. They just need those couple of little pieces to just maintain that, just stay out of
Yeah, I think
relegation.
those are both
Or
good
get out
last
of it in
day
Swansea's.
signings that can help them out in the areas that they need in midfield and with some little bit of pace out on the sides and the wing. Ayew to Ayew. You're going to see it happen.
Yeah, I agree.
And LeFou from Beauty and the Beast joins Watford.
Gerard Delafeo.
But it's LeFou because it says LeFou. I know it's Delafeu. But I like LeFou.
Formerly of Stoke City 2 years ago, was playing with Barcelona, where he's been loaned out multiple times now and played for the
don't know
first
why.
half of the season, but with Coutinho going into Barca, he has no place.
It's the wrong lyrics, but
What?
the way you said Barcelona, I
Barcelona.
went, lives in Barcelona, how the house of made a stoner. For whatever reason, that popped in my head, even though it's Babylonia. But sorry,
Wow.
it was the
You
way
pulled
he,
out the Steve
Yeah, you
Martin.
did.
It's the way he said it. Oh, I couldn't not picture that Saturday Night Live sketch now.
That could help out Watford, though. It could.
Oof.
If he's somewhat unformed.
Watford needs anything to. God, can you remember we were talking about, like, what if these guys go to Europe? That they were smoking it at the beginning,
Everton.
first like quarter of the year.
Blame Everton.
Yeah.
Man, I mean,
Turn Silva's head.
okay, but they're still the same
No.
players. I mean,
Well, that just shows you how much the manager means.
The game's all about confidence, man. And I think when his head was turned, players saw that and they lost confidence in him.
I don't know.
Purely taking a guess, but that's what appears to have happened.
And that kind of wraps us up.
You got any other notable
Trans-
signings there, Ron?
I got
missed it.
one.
Oh, what was the one for Man City that we said? I think that's another great signing.
The record, the almost record defender, right? It was just below,
Laporte? Something Laporte?
just below what Van Dijk got by a
I
little.
don't have it anymore. I've moved
Joe
on.
Laporte?
Glass Laporte.
But I think it's a very interesting topic because City has spent over like 300 million pounds on defenders this year. Defense is what wins champions.
I was gonna say, and that's
Interesting.
scary
Yeah, very interesting.
because now we're looking at like, oh god, they could do this again next year.
Oh yeah, they're trying to build the dynasty.
Oh, they want
That's clear.
They want a few in a row. Yeah,
I mean, look how many players they're going after for depth, so that they can play in Champions League,
Mixed
and
Discaroo. Yeah, a lot of depth there.
to play Champions League, UEFA Champions League, FA Cup.
that's true. The club they're putting together right now is like let's take the Premier League this year. Let's make a honest to God run in the Champions League.
They
Next
could
year.
do both this year.
Like, yeah, well, it's true.
Yeah,
But I think it's they're going to focus on getting that Premier League.
I don't think they have to focus anymore. They could just roll into it.
And
if
then
they wanted to at this
Pep
point.
Guardiola gets to go to Jose Mourinho.
with a 2-finger salute.
The only other transfer news I would like to bring up is just for us local Orlandonians. National
my God!
National Women's Soccer League club Orlando Pride just announced the signing of Sydney LaRue Dwyer. Yes, we got the whole family, including Cassius. He'll come down here. Oh, I'm so excited.
We all kind of had an idea that this could happen.
Yeah, because there were
when
some moves
Dom-
made earlier in the week that kind of.
Well, and Dom got the 5-year contract
Yeah,
offer.
yeah.
Right.
And you thought, man, I wonder if they're going to try to get Sydney down here
Yeah,
as well.
we offloaded some people that have been with the club for
A while.
since the start, and some
We-
really
we made
Steph
room.
Catley,
Steph
love
Catley,
people that we love, Jazz
Spencer.
Yeah, I mean it's sad to lose them, but that's part of the business. And you made way for a great player, and
And
Do we
very excited.
not have the best attacking core in all of NWSL?
we do. I mean, I would think right now.
Morgan LaRue at the current point. That's dangerous.
Pretty awesome.
And I do want to.
And the men have also made some good signings
Yes.
in the last couple of days. Justin Iram joined from Columbus, and if he's on form like he was last year,
and
dangerous player.
Tarek, I'm not sure.
Tarek, and then Omalu
from the
Rusla.
Egyptian team,
Mm-hmm.
or for the Egyptian Premier League, another EPL.
I do want to say though, since we brought up a little NWSL stuff, I don't want to get too far off because we need to wrap this pod up. But
Oh, yes.
one of our listeners at Callie on Twitter, she said, "Please, can you pour one out for the Boston Breakers next time you record?" And that it's such a super sad situation that there had been some rumors kind of floating around, but it looked like maybe they were going to work things out, and then the last minute it seemed to fall through, and Boston Breakers completely folded, and the NWSL loses that club. And so you've got all those fans locally that their club's gone literally overnight. There was a not an expansion draft. What do you call it? A reclamation draft, or
Yeah, they basically pick off all
the
the people under contract.
They all went in.
dispersal draft.
Dispersal draft. Thank you. So that sucks. For the fans there in Boston.
And we'll do an NWSL deep dive.
Sure. I just wanted to
Close this season, but yeah, Callie
Callie said to pour
terrible.
one out, or actually specifically said, but not really, because don't waste beer. So,
No, we're just gonna do a nice little
yeah, to the Boston Breakers here.
cheers.
It's sad.
Absolutely,
They'll be missed, but not by enough of us.
no.
Yeah, that's
Makes me think that the LA Club may come quicker. That's rumored to go
Maybe.
happen.
It's when it's just you see teams fold like this. We had one earlier in the year move. This is the longest lasting top flight professional women's soccer league. It's gone on the longest so far.
Correct.
When you start seeing stuff like this, it kind of just gets you.
You get nervous.
You get a little nervous.
Yeah.
It's while the Pride here are thriving and
in
good
Portland
players
and in
yeah,
Seattle,
Portland,
they
some other
do.
areas. It's just it gets a little.
It's hard not to get
things
nervous.
start to happen. Yeah.
And look, obviously it's been around longer, but MLS had a quick expansion and then almost collapsed. As cool as it is to hear announcements like, "Oh, we got another club in Florida with Miami coming." Nashville's announced. Every time that kind of stuff happens, I do go, "Oof."
Right. Are they expanding too fast?
There was that, and I'm not throwing out that they are. It feels like things are growing well, but I have that same sort of uneasy feeling of, okay, but I just hope we don't find the same place, that we were where we were too big. It's become too big. It remains to be seen.
Yeah, and I think a lot will. I mean, I don't know if we'll get into pod before next Saturday, but the U.S. Soccer Federation presidency will be determined next Saturday, the 10th. Guess where they're doing that here?
It's in Orlando.
I just
I
said
think you gave that up.
Botched that one up. They're doing it here. I did not know that, but
Where's it actually specifically held in Orlando? I forget where.
Don't know. But there's a lot of platforms, not necessarily for the NWSL, but just platforms on developmental leagues, developmental programs.
No matter who wins,
grassroots, and that ties into both male and female soccer. So it's going to be interesting to see.
I do believe that
wins
no matter who wins,
and where it goes,
it is a win for U.S. soccer in the sense that it is allowed in a public forum all these people to talk more than they've ever talked before about these things, because Senegal has just been there forever. Yeah, so so much has come out that some kind of change is going to happen. So whoever wins this thing, I think ends up being a win for soccer, except for if it's that whoever was like under Sunil Gulati.
Actually, his platform is very, very good.
Well,
If you've
okay,
not seen him, and I believe he could be one of the front.
but here's the thing. Did he adopt that platform because of what everybody else is saying? And that's okay if he did, because that's how it actually works. Like, you start to adopt what you see as other,
So the presidential candidates are Paul Caligari, Kathy Carter, Carlos Cordero, Stephen Gons, Kyle
I believe. No, never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
Kyle Martino, Michael Winogard, Eric Winalda, and I'm going to let you guess the last one. No fair looking it up.
Let's hope Solo.
Okay. I didn't know if you were aware. Yes.
Which one? Which one was the? Was it Carlos Cordero that was the chair to Galati? I think.
If Kyle does not win,
that's why I stopped you earlier. I think it was Carlos Cordero.
If Kyle Martino does not win, I really am excited about him coming back to NBC Sports Soccer and talking about this whole process.
Right.
I really hope there's a cool, whatever they do, those awesome specials,
Like
the
pull back
downloads
of the curtain.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. I really hope it's something they talk about.
And I would say the front runners right now are probably Kyle Martino, Eric Winalda, and Kathy Carter. If I had to
Probably.
throw a guess out there as to
Oh, my God. You know where it is? It's right down the street.
where.
It's at the Renaissance Orlando at SeaWorld.
Oh,
no
geez,
kidding.
yeah.
Yeah, it's right down the street.
It's right down the street. Oh, man, I'm flying.
We got to send the
I'm off.
door. First interview with the new soccer president by Brewtiful Game. What's your
that be
favorite
awesome?
beer? What's your favorite beer? Everyone wants to know. Ask the man a real question. Lagers or IPA?
Soccer or football?
That we would all have to show up in like the 20s trench coat with the fedora with the little press badge on our hats.
Oh,
Hey.
yes.
Hello, sir. What do you
By the way, when the expansion, or not expansion, the what do you call it? Not reclamation, dispersal draft
Dispersal
happened.
draft.
I was really hoping we'd get Rose Lavelle just to.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
God.
yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Would be
Oh man. Anyway, but that was the one. I was like, I'm sure she'll go, but I just
There
want
are
her
some
so we can
players
do our
involved in
private eye investigator Rose Lavelle
Yes,
story.
True.
Yep.
Well, gents, another good time hanging out. Ron, fly safe to
Zimbabwe, whatever the hell.
you're China tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it's Beijing.
Yeah, have fun. Not watching the Super Bowl.
I don't think I'll miss it.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know that I'll catch it either.
I'm with,
Are we
Two
all
teams
just-
that I really couldn't care less about, and whatever.
Yeah. Well, you fly safe.
Will do.
All right, Mr.
Safe
Ferris.
travels.
Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brewtiful Game. Because it's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more.
Mixed disrude starting for City next week.
There was a rich man from Nottingham wanted to cross the river. I'm Jamie Vardy, don't you know? I'm cooler than Christian Slater.